a bridge. Yeah. It's a big river.
Entrance.
Ça veut dire ça, hein? C'est le color. So this is the bridge that some of our ancestors used to say it was built by genies. Yeah. When it was really built by the British, which they were white, so people thought they were genies. And the big chick. Used to walk right there to go take showers to the river. Welcome to Bumpe. That's this young boy. Got a full of mine shop around every day. The shop. Now the compound is?
We'll come back to it.
I remember I said
They will be defending him.
Yeah, the place don't change. Man.
Alright. So I'm gonna try to see if I can talk and describe some of my experiences. As you can see, you would notice I'm talking or some of the people I'm talking to, but you're not going to like hear the audio because my cameraman had, I guess, unknowingly or unconsciously or whatever, he did not connect the audio cord device to the camera. So throughout the recordings, you will notice the audio is not working. So I'm gonna try my best to talk through here. So this is the town's market. That's the market, and I don't remember that being there, but it looks like they may have built it. And then we're coming from the high school, the primary school end. After I had visited with the principal and the headmaster, we're just coming out into the town to just tour, just see if I can recollect my memory, and I certainly did, but like I said, the audio voice was not working well with us at the time. So yeah. That's a barber shop. Yes, that's a picture of Nelly giving Barack Obama a haircut. I'm not sure where that came from, but it looks interesting. So we were kind of paused for a second there just to have a moment, with it, because I've never seen anything like it. Nelly giving Obama a haircut. Yep. Driving now towards the town's center. The center of the town. That's where we're headed towards now. Where my family's compound is based. You'll see that my family at one point, my grandfather was a chief, was the head of the town, where he was, like a political head figure there. Just like when you have mayors in the town, my grandfather was kind of like that, a mayor. We call him the chief of the town. And my cousin had told me the story how he became the chief at the time. It was mainly because he was a really hard-working man. He made something out of himself. He worked hard and had his own business, and he was very, very successful at it. And the story goes on to state that my grandfather was the first man to ever have a vehicle in that town. So he definitely enriched the town and helped a lot of people financially, but he became a chief because he was very successful in business. And his dad before him, the story was told, was a warrior, and so on and so on. All right. So we're looking at, this is one of the houses across the street from us, from our Mattia compound. That was the only two-story building in the town, which was around the center of the town. I remember this building. We used to go up there. We went with some of the other kids who lived there. Just played with them, Yeah, this is the center, that field that we're filming. I remember a story about it when the war started, when the rebels, it was a rebel who came to town, and people just kind of called him out and said that he was a rebel, and so they literally executed him on that field. Fast forward, this is my family's compound now. That's my cousin. That's maybe one of my other family members, but this is the compound. It's very old and beat up now because there's when the war came, they pretty much destroyed all of the houses. We're just arriving now. Yeah, there we are. There's the compound, yeah. It used to be so beautiful. There used to be nothing but cement right there, It's deteriorated quite a bit. And hopefully as time goes on, we'll try to help to restore it again. Yeah, that's my uncle's wife. My uncle is passed away now. We're gonna show her again. That's my driver. Mr. Gabriel looks tired, but he was definitely helpful in the whole events for sure. Again, you have to excuse us. The audio, we had audio issues, so that's why you can't hear exactly what we're talking about, and which is why I'm talking through. This is one of my advisors, strategist advisors. So he's very also instrumental in the whole trip, the whole organization. His name is Mohammed Reimer. Very helpful guy as well. Very knowledgeable about, particularly in Freetown, with some of the events we've done. Right, this is my cousin Philip. This is one of my aunties right here as well. Yeah. Alright. Mr. Brammer still have something to say, which we can't hear, but alright, we're walking down my family compound now. This is the Mattia compound. So here we go. I believe I was headed to see the chief, the current chief of the town. His last name is Poshowa. He's one of the Poshowas. They are now in power. So I just kind of went to see the chief. I guess they were having some kind of seasonal Christmas celebration of all the families who had passed away. So I went to give them my portion of the contribution. And I think it was 300 or 400 Sierra Leone thousands. So yeah, this is the compound. I'm talking now, explaining this very particular
the top compounds. There was a big quantity here. And over here is the Côte Barrée. The Côte Barrée, where the government, where they hold all of their meetings, the government meetings, to settle cases. The chief, I just met with the chief in there. So I kind of support. They have a program for all the families where they can support, celebrate. So this is the building here. This used to be a pharmacy. I know one of my late uncles. I can remember him, Joe Songo. Joe is my favorite uncle. I know him. Don't tell me about him, okay? Joe Songo is one of the elders, right? The oldest. My auntie here, she knows, but he used to live here. When I was a kid, we used to live in this house. There was a door, right? It was like an entrance. The compound was all cemented, Sometimes you just take off running over there. You just run in here. There's a door. Not even. The place was beautiful, but war came.
Yeah, so again, the audio has gone out. But yeah, I'm just explaining, just reflecting the story of this compound, how the place was so cemented, beautiful. And this is, my grandfather had established this. If you notice in the whole town, the location of our compound is very prime. It's a very prime location. Because as you can imagine, he was the chief at the time. He was the chief of that whole chiefdom. He had properties in different villages. So the location of our compound was a very prominent prime location by the road. There was a big tree there, and that was the tree that everybody would reference when you mention Bumpe High School, when you mention Bumpe Town. So I'm walking through now. So this is my grandfather I'm telling you about. His grave. Okay, this is his mom, the grave of his mother, or I'm not sure, his mother or his first wife, one of that. I can't remember. And this is the grave that I'm pointing at. No, this is the grave of my grandfather. The one I'm pointing at now. And that's his compound. So he was buried in his compound. The next grave up above there, I think is his first wife. His first wife or mom, one of those. But the one I'm pointing at is my grandfather right here. So pretty much the whole Mattia legacy, when you're talking about the Mattia legacy, this is it right here. in this Bumpe compound. And that's my auntie, you know, my aunt, Auntie Sabina. So and to be honest, I was so young, so when I saw her, I couldn't even recognize her, you know. Like,
So when you're talking about the Mattia legacy,
this would be it right here, you know, because it's really started with my grandfather, or my great-grandfather, which had only one child, and that one child is my grandfather.
When I come back January,
So he had to work hard, you know, to gain wealth and a good businessman. That's how he got power.
This not an urgent car cancel. Because I want wait stay January for camp, but I say too long. Because I want to see this man for survey some of the school kids. I want to take picture there. Because that's the one time, it's almost a month. I don't want to wait. Hey, she don't know what to do nothing. So I
But you can see, definitely need to redevelop here, restructure, and God grace.
Yeah, I know, but I don't have time. Maybe
Other siblings, we can certainly try to help to rebuild some of these structures. Because the memory of our great, ancestries really come here. It comes from here. At least parts of it, you know. And this is the Mende region as well. It's part of the Bo district. The Bumpe Chiefdom is part of the Bo city. That's my cousin. He's my favorite cousin actually. And I was his favorite cousin because when I was a child living in that town, he just kind of took me under his wings. His name is Philip Mattia. So I was like this young 5-6-year-old boy, and he was an older cousin. He was probably, you know, in his teen years in high school, you know, maybe in his 20s, or maybe he was 19, 20-year-old or 21-year-old. I'm not sure his age, but he was almost an adult, if not already an adult, but he was a little younger, and I was just a kid, you know, like I said, 5-6 years old. And Philip was, you know, he always took me as his little brother, you know, because during that time, I was just living with my dad, and my mom had already came to the States. And a lot of times, you know, we just kind of have to lean on each other. And he was always there, like, even sometimes when I'm hungry, when there's not enough food, you know, because he was an older brother to me almost. So he would, whenever he had food, he didn't finish the food, or he had a little too much, he would always call me to the side and share what he had or whatever he had left over, you know. So those memories really never left me. This is my auntie Sabina. Like I said, I was so young. The fact that she wasn't living in this town at the time, so when I visited recently, I could not recognize her. She was living in a different village at the time, and she would just come visit and go. She would come visit and go, and, you know, which is why I wasn't really able to recognize it.
that video more, yeah?
Okay, not bad.
Okay. Yeah. So this place here, I live in Bonne. Arrojas. Okay. Oh, Braga Sur. Fine. The Bumpe Chiefdom. This is it. Emmanuel, you compare your village to this village. This can be powerful turn this one. See the bridge where they
Even
can.
the old structures. Don't tell us it'll be great song.
Now you go. I tell you, man. War is a terrible thing. Terrible thing.
Just walking now in the town.
But the town is still a therefore redeveloped. Yeah.
He's the son of my favorite, when I say my favorite uncle, I really his father is like one guy to the family, the different town. We just went back and forth from Bumpe to Leone. So Philip is the son of my dad's younger brother, I think, or older brother. I'm not sure. You know, I was young, so I'm not really sure who was older or not. But my father's brother was living in the town with us. And it was like almost he was that head there. Oversee all of my dad was in different towns. But my dad kind of just sponsored everyone in that compound, because he was the one that kind of looked out for all of his family, because he was the only one who was successful in life. After his dad, after my granddad passed away, the only person now that could carry on the family as far as helping family members in their troubles and difficulties was my dad. And because of the success he accomplished in life by going to study abroad and getting his medical degree, doctorate degree as a doctor, so that skill that he acquired allowed him throughout his life to be able to self-sustain his family, you know, his whole extended family. No matter where my dad would settle, he was always going to be okay, because as we all know, being a doctor anywhere, you know, your skill is always going to be needed and required, and people are willing to, you know, to pay whatever it is that is required so they can stay healthy or alive, right? We all know that. So we're walking here, this is towards the ending now. We're just walking, going towards the bridge again that we came in. Just talking and walking now. Yeah, I think I'm making some fun with guys. You know, I'm trying to compare the villages or towns of my crew members. You know, I'm telling them my town is better than theirs, so we're just kind of joking about that.
Man, you the beach talk, eh? We got beach out.
Emmanuel, you don't get beach.
Bumpe.
Oh, got beaches.
I got bush road.
That banga farm. A banga farm out to the week.
Well, they say at one time the bridge was gonna collapse, so they had to commission for the development. But yeah, so we just took a tour. I was just too tired to go everywhere to go watch everything, because the place done so change. You know, the things that are there now, I can't really say much about them because it's different structures. So I only explain the ones that I could really Remember, around the compound. Coming towards the Bumpe Bridge.
So we're coming out to the bridge again, you know. This is the exit point.
Let me take.
A very prominent bridge. It was almost like a landmark, you know. Landmark bridge. The bridge was built by contractors, I believe. It could have been from England, because at the time, you know, Sierra Leone is a colonial country of the British. So a lot of things that were developed in the earlier ages were influenced by the British. So, and with my presumptions is that they most likely commissioned for this bridge. This bridge is the crossing for that whole region to go beyond that point. Just walking now, explaining memories on this bridge, you know. The river is actually called the Tabe River. I used to shower there. This is the river where I learned how to swim. It's called the Tabe River, where my cousin just pushed me in the water and expected me to pull myself out of there.
So,
I learned how to swim right here.
You know, we used to come, man, I can't this side. So we used to come here and take showers right here. There was a time that I could swim from this end to this end, you know, back and forth. That's how I learned how to swim. I learned how to swim in this river.
Certainly did. Tabe River.
How I learned how to swim is I was standing right over there. Right over there on that edge. You know, minding my own business.
My cousin came down behind me, grabbed me, and just threw me in the water. I was so little and skinny. He was able to do that. Just pick me up and threw me in there, you know, and just watched me struggle my way out. I mean, he was obviously in standby to help me if I needed it, but I pretty much learned how to swim by that, you know. I just kind of struggled my legs and arms, and I was able to swim out of the water. Tabe River, very beautiful scenery. You know, the water is very darkish, dark brown. It's not a clear water at all. At one point, yeah, I used to drink this water too, actually. Water is water. It's needed for survival. Explaining here. And sometimes this whole river will actually dry up during the raining season. During the dry season.
Now. You know, now you cannot walk across the river.
It will dry up.
Too much. But dry season, the water will reduce to the extent that you can walk. You can walk from one end here to this end. You know, and some of the guys, they're swimming, doing laundry. You know, we all used to do that. I used to do that. You know, what he's using that to clean. So this is the bridge. Get a shot of the bridge. So memories. So I'll go before you. They gave me a shot of the whole bridge.
just walking on the side of the bridge now. You know, I'm just very fascinated by this bridge because you don't see bridges like this in the whole of Sierra Leone at all. You know, it's very uniquely built, and you can walk on the side here, and it just so it happens to be in the town that my family is from. So.
When I get older, I will be stronger. They'll call me freedom, just like a waving flag.